The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
All right, Mike Clowney, second oldest rivalry game in the state of Tennessee, Carson-Newman and Tusculum. Start us off with a statement about being back at home, something that fortunately happens a lot in October, and a match with the Pioneers.
A match with the Pioneers, man. We've been on the road last week and was able to get a good win. It's just, being able to come back home, I think is just kind of always a treat. With that game being as enthusiastic and exciting it was. When I thought first thing this morning was like, man, it'd be great to have that same type of energy, here at our place on Saturday. So I know our guys are looking forward to getting back on the field and continue to work to try to find ways to continue to get better.
Interesting matchup with Tusculum as per usual. Jerry Odom's teams always do a phenomenal job of turning people over, and that's no different this year. League leaders in interceptions. What do you have to do to take care of the ball against a ball-hawking Pioneer team?
Jerry does a good job on. They always do a good job on defense. They've always got athletic kids that can run, and that's no different this year. The big thing for us is just to continue to be smart with the football. Number one, make good decisions, be aggressive up front, make sure that we work on having good hard runs, and then still making sure that we secure the ball. Like that was a big issue, with us going over there last year, and so that's something I think that's still kind of be at the front of our minds in the sense that we know that we have to be able to take care of the ball and win the game.
For Tusculum defensively, they've got the top tackler in the South Atlantic Conference in Wesley Scott. What sticks out to you about him and his skill set?
He's just super disruptive. He's just kind of the way he plays is very disruptive. He runs well. A really sure tackler. And so we've got to make sure that we can do a good job of trying to get a hat on him and get him sealed and stay on him. Don't let him just kind of be free and run around and make plays.
From the win over Newberry, obviously the fourth quarter is probably as good as it gets in terms of complimentary football, but you had to rally to get there. What are the areas for improvement after a big win over the Wolves?
It's always better to make corrections after you win a game. Sometimes like that's where we talk to our kids about, being able to handle success. Because even though we had some success with one game, we still made a lot of mistakes. A lot of glaring mistakes, when you go back and you watch that game on film. And so that's the thing that we challenged our guys with yesterday is continue to keep that spirit, continue to keep that energy. But we have to continue to work and develop the skill sets at every position in order to continue to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish.
Jalen Myers has done something that only 4 other quarterbacks since 1980 have done for Carson-Newman football, and that's complete 15 passes in a game. I don't know that that's a fair comparison to make to years past, because for the first time in the last 42 years, Carson-Newman's rushed the ball fewer than 30 times in back-to-back games. What is a fair comparison? What is a fair assessment of the offense of the passing game of Jalen Myers, given that I guess as a program we really don't have a reference point for what this is?
Yeah, I think the biggest reference points is when you go back, that relationship to did he distribute the ball the way that he need to and the way that we're asking him to. A lot of times we run the option, you come back and, those grades are so important because you want the quarterbacks to be able to make read, get the ball to the right guy. I think that's one thing that Jalen did do well was distribute the football. He took things that were there, shared it with several different people. There's still some reading stuff that he has to do in the run game. I thought for the most part, he handled that adequately. And, we just look forward to him just kind of continuing his growth and development as a quarterback. I think one thing that you always want to have is a more balanced offense. I think that gives us a chance to be able to continue to do that down the road. So I don't think we want to at any point vacate the run game. We still have to be better at running the football, but be more adequate at passing. And I think it's something that's super critical to our growth and development as a program.
Cade Meeks had a quiet couple of weeks. It was pretty noisy in the opener, but it was quite noisy against Newberry. Kind of, I don't want to say he disappeared because he really didn't, but showed up in a big way against the Wolves. Just how much is that owed to his patience that it would
I think, we talked about in the pregame show, what was the position where we had someone that really needed to step up. And, that position was wide out for us. We talked about, losing Braxton. There are a lot of yards and catches out there to be made, and we need someone to be able to step up and make it. He's the leading returner that we had, so we felt like, it would be adequate for him to be able to do that. But to be able to get the ball into his hands and him make plays, I think that's something that we have to continue work to be able to do.
Now, this is a hypothetical. If you were celebrating your birthday on a Wednesday, what's your ideal situation as you go into the last year of a particular decade?
I just want to come in, have a day with no problems, that runs smooth. Everyone shows up where to show up on time and do what we need to do, have a great day of practice. Go home and my wife let me go to bed early. That's what happens when you get old.
Isn't it pitiful? What do you want? Nothing.
Nothing.
Sleep.
Smooth day and a good night's sleep.
You look at Tusculum offensively, pretty balanced, have done some things in some nice things in spots. Run game seems to be knocking people back. They don't give up a ton of tackles for loss. How do you get penetration against a pretty good line?
I think we've got to get off the ball. That was something evident when we watched film, over time for us this season is, ball snap, we've got to get off the ball. We've got to be the first guy to get across the line. We got to initiate contact to where we can work to change the line of scrimmage.
Just what would it mean to have a big home crowd here? Tough ask given that it's fall break, students head home this weekend, but to have good community support against the Pioneers.
I think it's big because, like, when we talked about, last week, the faith and believing, I thought our guys did a good job of creating energy for themselves. And it's cool to create that energy for yourself, and it's fun. And the cool thing is when we were doing that, like, you don't really realize, that's why I told them in our meeting yesterday, we were kind of creating some energy, and all of a sudden I start hearing metal stands banging behind me. And I look, and I'm like, the entire crowd is in the game, and it changes the entire atmosphere. Man, it just makes, that environment for our kids just so much more enthusiastic. They all grew up wanting to play at Tennessee where there's 100,000 fans. But, you still, whatever stadium you're in, you like to see it packed. And I think that, as many people we can get out here to cheer these guys on, I think they'll be grateful for it.